PolarfluKe Heavens Devils Finals, Angry African versus Shase, aka As If I'm Trying, and we're on Metalopolis. We've got a full house, obviously, a lot of spectators here. Let's hope the game is going to be as smooth as it should be. And wow, seeing these two in the finals again, I gotta say it's not a big surprise. I think a lot of people sort of called this out before the tournament even started. These two were the favorites to be in the finals, but the long roads that they both took to get here, some interesting games along the way, and I'm sure you're going to be able to read all about that over at PolarfluKe after this tournament concludes. Okay, so we've got As If I'm Trying spawning on the left-hand side, the 9 o'clock position on Metalopolis, and the Terran player Angry African on the right-hand side, the 3 o'clock position. So already right off the bat, you can't, I just got to say, you can't really very easily proxy on this map because it's a bit of a risk. There are 4 spawns, it's a little bit harder to find your opponent right off the bat, so these players probably won't want to do that. And as I would have said in most games with these two, they're going to take a slightly more measured approach. They have played against each other many times before, so they know what to expect. I think it all comes down to the little tricks that these guys can pull out of the bag. I mean, both these players capable of so much, and I suppose it remains to be seen what they're going to decide to do here. Buckchadai just saying they should use his strat. Okay, take 3 bases, build no units, win via that. Okay, so observers definitely getting into this, and both Shase obviously scouting a little bit earlier here. He checked his first spawn, nothing there. He's going for the second one now. He's going to find his opponent there, and he's not going to see anything special going on right there. He won't see that supply depot because Angry African actually hid it behind that little smokestack there. And he will in fact see this this racks going down and that gas, so that's going to tell him a little bit about what he can expect, but not really enough to change the change his chosen strategies. So over in Shase's base, pretty much exactly the same kind of thing. We see the simulator going down, the gateway going down, and he's just pumping out those probes. So the Protoss race obviously able to get those probes a little bit faster than Terran or Zerg can get their units out, their builders. But yeah, Shay's already sitting on 16, 17 drones now, whereas Angry African only on 15. Angry African already pumping that gas out there. I suppose, you know, I wonder, he doesn't really usually do that Reaper strat, that mass Reaper strat against Protoss. I think that's pretty much exclusively for against Zerg with Angry African, but it remains to be seen. He could be trying something sneaky in this game. We got Shase's probe just chilling here at the Zelnaga tower. If we have a look at his site, he's got a nice little bit of vision there. He'll definitely see if something leaves that base and comes his way. So 2 Marines out and a third one being trained for Angry African. Pretty interesting. I wonder if he's going to maybe fast expand in this game, or no, he's going straight for another barracks. Let's see what he's going to do with that. And over at Shase's side, he's already getting that warp gate tech coming out, and that just so far pointing towards the standard 4-gate we always see from Shase. And not a big surprise there. And wow, okay, typical Angry African puts down his 1 bunker, which according to him is 100% countering the 4-gate. So let's see if it works in this game, and if Shase in fact goes for the 4-gate. Okay, so there comes the second gateway for Shase. He's got both gas fully up and running now, and I fully expect to see a couple more gateways going down in the next couple of seconds. So Angry African just getting enough Marines out to fill that bunker, throwing down these mules here. He wants to keep that income up, and he's got 2 Raxes down, 1 with a tech lab and 1 with a reactor. So he's definitely going for his standard biowall. The factory is going down now, which is obviously going to allow him to build that starport in just a minute or two, and that's obviously once again indicative of biowall with a couple of medvacs. And with Angry African, a couple usually ends up being as many medvacs as he has infantry out, so that's always something really interesting to watch. So only 3 gateways out for Shase so far, but so that means he could be leaving himself slightly open now to either decide to put down that robotics facility or get that 4th gateway. I suppose it depends on what he's going to see in his opponent's base. Yeah, the Observer's definitely enjoying this game, and it seems to be pretty lag-free so far, so impressive stuff. Stimpack nearly done, only 40 seconds left on that. That just means that Angry African sitting pretty at the moment, and pretty safe inside that base of his. Stimpack nearly done now, just pumping out those Marines. Not a single Marauder out there yet. Interesting, but I guess he maybe wants to get that concussive shell first, and it's obviously pretty clever getting Marines out versus a Protoss, because if you're not scouting them, which Angry African isn't doing at the moment, they could well be getting those Void Rays out, and you want to be ready for that as well. So Shase just got 3 gates out at the moment. He's still not put that 4th gateway down, and he hasn't started putting pressure on yet, so pretty weird. Usually by this point, Shase is probably just timing it well, because he can see everything that's going on in his opponent's base. Yeah, sorry, I just missed that. Thank you. The robotics facility is down for Shase. I was not really paying attention here, but the extended thermal lance is coming out, and that's the 3-gate robo. That, I suppose, that was the other choice he had apart from the 4-gate. And there's a bit of a reveal for Angry African, taking out that Observer. You obviously saw it hanging around there. And in Angry African's base, the medvacs are on their way. He's slightly gas starved at the moment, but those medvacs do cost 100 gas, so it's slightly difficult to pump them out as fast as he would like to. The first Colossus is on the way, so Shase deciding not to go for the Storm in this game. We've seen the Storm working before, but we've also seen Angry African counter it very easily and very effectively with just a couple of Helions. Those Helions obviously rip apart those High Templars in no time at all, and I suppose Shase is pretty weary about that. So the first Colossus coming out right now. Extended thermal lance also nearly done. So Shase is nearly ready to confront his opponent. I suppose it would also only benefit Shase if he can get either blink on his stalkers or charge on his zealots, or both. But I suppose he needs to spend his money cleverly now, and in a game like this, every little bit counts. So Angry African making his move. He's got a couple more medvacs on their way, but he's got a nicely sized army, and he stims up the ramp, trying to catch Shase by surprise. But Shase has a nicely placed force field. He catches 3 Marines off guard, and he just zaps them down with his Colossus. So 3 kills for Shase, and none for Angry African yet. Morale is low at the Terran base camp. He pulls back. Let's see if he's going to push again. Angry African on on his side of the map. He's got his 2nd starport going down now, and it looks like he's putting a tech lab on his 2nd barrack. So he's going to start pumping out those Marauders now. I suppose he's had a look at Shase's army, and he wants to be able to counter those Colossi, which there's obviously going to be more than one of them in just a second. Yeah, there comes the 2nd one. He's going to want to be able to counter them effectively, and you can't do that with Marines. You know, they're pretty fast, but they're just going to die so quickly to more than one Colossus. Okay, so Shase putting down his proxy pylon. He is poised to strike. Let's see if he's going to be able to put on enough pressure, you know, maybe rattle Angry African enough to push him back up into his base so that Shase can get a bit of a run at this natural of Angry Africans. Because Shase obviously putting down his own natural now as well, and he wants to keep Angry African busy while his goes down. So Shase making a move now. 85 population versus 84 population. This comes down to the better player. Let's see what they can do. Shase just moving in there. Those zealots incredibly slow. Shase cuts off a lot of the infantry there. Nice micro by Shase. A perfectly placed force field. And this looks like it could be GG for Angry African. Angry African just lost a lot of infantry there. Incredibly nice force field by Shase, and he catches this base off guard. I mean, look at this. A bunch of SCVs got slaughtered. This command center going down. Angry African does not really have an answer for this. Shase waiting with those stalkers, waiting for those Vikings of Angry African just to get a little bit closer so he can snipe them down. There's not much Angry African can do right now. He's just watching, and I suppose his heart dropped when he saw that expansion of his going down. Shase, on the other hand, just got his expansion up over in his base. So here we go, another little confrontation. Those infantry going down incredibly fast. The Colossi being focused, but these Stalkers doing a good job at focusing down the Vikings. Shase playing incredibly well, pulling those Colossi back. He doesn't even lose one of them. We see the GG, incredibly well played there in the end by Shase. Godlike micro, and wow, that just shows you why he's probably seeded #1 in the country. So we're going to see the next game. Let's just get that map the map selection done.